What's up guys, it's the Gold Steelix here, and today I'm going to be doing a tank review on the T-15, the Tier 3 German light tank. Now I haven't done a tank review before, so I hope this goes smoothly. I don't know, I'll probably fuck it up in a load of places. But I'm going to just run through the stats with you now. 260 hit points. This is going to mean you can take a hit from a couple things on the Tier 3 and 4 battlefield, but nothing too major when you consider that once you get to Tier 4 and things like that, the alpha of a lot of guns, that you get a lot of guns that are going to do 100 damage each, and at Tier 5, you know, this thing sees up to Tier 5, so you know, if you see a BDR, you could kiss goodbye to all those hit points in a very short period of time. 10 tons, that's not a lot, so I wouldn't go around ramming things. There's still stuff on the Tier 2 and 3 battlefield you can ram, like a T2 Light and Tetrarch, but I wouldn't really rely on it as a proper strategy at all. 274 engine power with that weight gives it a specific power of 26.12, which is actually quite good. It can accelerate really nicely when you compare that to things like the fabled T-37, which has got 21.39, and the Type 64, which has got 21.41. It's actually really good, so it can accelerate really well. It's got a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour, which again down at this tier is actually really nice. You're definitely gonna, you know, not get hit by those low tier sort of derby howitzers that you find that are flying around, you know, going really slowly through the air on stuff like the T-18 and the T-32. So you can probably you can avoid those pretty well. 46 traverse speed. It doesn't traverse too quickly, but I haven't found it to be a problem just yet. Now the armor, you have got 30 frontal armor basically everywhere on this bit and this bit here, and on the turret. I think the parts of the gunman that can go to around 60. On the side you got 20 hull armor, 25 turret armor. The tracks can in theory eat stuff. It hasn't happened to me yet, but I've been looking at it, and the track equivalent armor thing when you're going through here can be quite a bit, because as you can see that is there's quite a lot of space being taken up. So, but it hasn't happened to me yet, so you know, don't hold me to that, but theoretically that could be eating some shots. Obviously the rear, basically nothing. Turret is still 25 at the rear, but yeah, that's not a lot at all. The frontal armor is kind of only just enough to save you from some of the auto cannons that are flying around, like the 50 cals and stuff. Only half the time. Like if a Panzer 1C finds you, I think you'd probably still be dead, even though you would bounce probably half of his shots. But I really wouldn't count on it, especially if he flew past you. Then you're absolutely screwed. 40. Let's take a look at the gun now, actually, while I'm coming down here. You have got 42 mils of penetration with standard ammo, 74 with premium. When you consider that this thing sees tier 5s, 74, obviously it's going to struggle at tier 5s, but if you're flanking stuff, going around them, I think you could manage using the premium there. Obviously the standard ammo against most tier 5s is just going to be awful. You will manage that with tier 4s and 3s, but once you get to tier 5, that is just not going to cut it. You're doing 40 damage a shot. You've got an accuracy of 0.41, which isn't that good. You're definitely not going to be sniping with this thing. You want to get up close and circle all the tanks you see. 1.7 aiming time, that's not too bad at all, actually. That's actually pretty good. And you're firing these shots off about once every 2 seconds, so you can probably stay accurate while you're shooting stuff, but you know, if you're just continuously firing. But I think it'd be close. You're gonna have to be a bit careful there, I reckon. So moving further on, there's my actual reload time. I've got my 2801 crew in here because obviously that's you know, the reasons why we buy premium tanks. You know, you get more crew training and stuff, but I mean, at the low tiers, I don't think it's really the most viable strategy for training your stuff up. That's why we need that's why I was talking about this the other day. We need some higher tier light tanks, because the highest tier proper light tank you can get is the Type 64, as far as I'm aware. I mean, there is the Type 62, but you know, obviously, if you go into the tech tree, you will not find it there. See, look, there it is, or there it isn't rather. But anyway, back to the T-15. 44 turret traverse combined with the 46 traverse speed. It's not bad. You can get that turret around pretty quickly. Now the view range. This 350 view range, it's not bad for tier 3. You can, with binoculars, you can get that up to 437.5 meters. I don't have mine on here just yet, but I have been using them when I've been playing the tank. Signal range 710. that's perfect for scouting in this thing, and to be honest, that is what I think the role of this tank should be, just for using the fact that you're at the low tiers to just learn how scouting works, because I think it's a great tank for that. It's got alright view range. I don't have many other tier 3s to really compare it to, but you know, obviously you can't expect it to be going around with 400 meters view range at this low of a tier, but that will be enough for this tier. I'm sure of it. So, but yeah, that's what I think it's for. I think this is a great tank for learning how to scout and training your scout crews, as I am here. This is my 2801 crew. I'm moving it back and forth. But I mean, you shouldn't expect to get too much out of it. For example, this is my T-49 crew in the T2 Light, and they are, well, that's 86%. That's 63. And this came up from 75. This came up from 100. I can't tell you how long I've been playing the T-49 for, but you know, it does take a lot longer at the lower tiers. But I think you know, you could still probably consider it worth it if you wanted to train some crews up in this thing. So yeah, I'm just gonna say before we get into these replays, would I recommend this tank to someone? I think I definitely would. You know, it's a nice, fun little tank to play at the low tiers. It doesn't get any fancy preferential matchmaking, but on the brighter side, that probably means it won't get removed anytime soon. But yeah, in a word, yes, I do enjoy this tank. You know, I would definitely recommend it to somebody. Let's go take a look at these replays. And we're back now. This was my first game of all in the T-15, and alright, timer stuck on 0 for like 3 seconds there. Not sure what that was about. Anyway, as I was saying, this is my first. That was some pleasant driving there. So this was my first game for the third time in the T-15. It's on El Halaf Tier 4 game, and I decided right at the start, because on El Halaf there's a couple of different places you can take your light tanks. You can go down this road and try and mess around, try and desperately spot the people here, or you can try and get under the gun line here and eventually work your way up and try and combat other scouts that are coming down here. So I convinced my platoon mate, also in the T-15, to come and do the same. I got another platoon mate in the Mighty Cruiser 2 with its 3.7-inch howitzer, who's going to cover us, and we make our way up to here, and we're about to see if anyone else is going to engage us at this middle section of the map. As you can see, I've got binoculars and camera net on here, but I only have standard ammo. I don't actually have any consumables because I was in that much of a rush to try this thing out that I completely forgot about that. So I guess I'm kind of lucky in that respect that I didn't get set on fire or anything bad like that ammo racked, because that would have really hindered me. And I wouldn't have been able to repair it or do anything about it. So we spot an AMX-40 to the left of us. Come on, react. There we go. So I've found him. I'm wondering if anyone else is going to shoot him now that we've spotted him. Let's see, where is he? And yeah, the Cruiser 2 takes him out. So that was alright. So far, nothing else, although my platoon mate in the Cruiser 2 just get taken out by a 38 NA. And it looks like it's at this point that I decide to move up with my platoon mate in the other T-15 there. We're going to move up and try and get under the gun line at the next level, just up here. Try and get some spots and see if the base campers behind us are going to do something about it. So we've rooted out this Covenanter over there. Don't think he's taken any damage so far. We're about to peek out again, and we've found the SU-26. And I'm just waiting for this guy to get out of the way so I can put a shot into him. Oh, in the way again. He fires and misses, and I take him out. So now we've got that 38 NA and a Covenanter. We're going to try and see if we can get some people to shoot the 38 NA. Got a couple into him. It's kind of important that we try not to take any hits here. And the Matilda takes him out for us, which is nice. So I'm going to move around the outside here, and then just come up on the higher ground to try and see if we can get better spots on their base. Now, meanwhile, over at the heavy corner, we've got a 38 TU who's just taken out our Valentine along with a B1 and a Matilda, and I think we've got another Valentine behind them coming up. So our base is kind of in danger, so we've got to really hurry up here and decide whether we're going to get back in time. Now, what you have to remember is that I don't have any premium ammo in this thing at this stage, so I'm thinking I can't pen the Matilda. I don't think I can pen the B1 on the Valentine either. 38T I can kill, but when there's 3 other tanks that I can't hit, or, you know, I can't damage at all there, it's going to be kind of difficult. So I make the decision to push up a bit further and try and get spots on their base. And I spot the Bison, so I'm going to start putting some shots into him. There we go, 2 shots each. I then make the decision that I'm going to go up into this bush and try and spot some things. We both start putting shots into the Hetzer, but I switch my fire to the Covenanter, and the Hetzer is going to take a shot any second now, I'm guessing. Yep. And the Hetzer takes out my platoon mate in the other T-15. Can we kill him? No, we bounce. I take a hit from him. Someone else takes him out. I should have really pulled back there and tried to survive. No, to keep my hit points for a bit longer. So the situation looks pretty dire now. It's just me here against the Covenanter and God knows what else. I mean, there's only 3 things at the cap, and the Matilda could, in theory, have gone back. There's also let's take a look at what else there is. There's an SU-85B, and there's that crested duck, the SRA, the SARL 42 over there. And I'm not going to pen him from this range with the 42, is it? Yeah, 42 mils of pen I've got. So I'm just going to try and keep him lit for the A20, who's probably got a much better chance of doing it. There's the Covenanter again. And we're now being capped, so it does seem that the end is nigh. They've got 2 of them in the cap. It's going up in 2s, 40 seconds to go. And clearly it's at this point that I decide, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to try and get some damage in before I die. And you can see the maneuverability here, it does speed up pretty quickly. We're heading up to 60 coming up on this Covenanter. And I'm expecting to take some hits here. He misses all but 1 of his shots from the 40mm pom-pom, I'm assuming that is. And we set him on fire. Put 1 more into him. Take a hit from the SU-85B. He's got stock guns, so we managed to survive that. And we start running away. Thankfully, only our tracks are damaged. If he'd have damaged our engine from that shot behind, we probably wouldn't be able to do what happens now. And I was very surprised that I managed to survive that. That was very lucky. I was just trying to get damage before I died, but clearly we'll be able to do a bit better. So, come up behind the crested duck, start putting shots into him, and he's dead. Which, you know, we were all laughing at this point in the platoon, because that was just spectacular. No one thought that was going to happen. And they've actually stopped capping to try and kill us all. So I'm looking for this SU-85B. I didn't know which side to go at first, but I found him, and it looks like he's coming down. I'm not sure what he was going to try and do there. So I take him out. SU-85B has got absolutely no armor, so I didn't need to aim for weak spots there. And now I'm going to run around and go sit in the cap circle, because that is probably our best chance at winning, considering that I can't pen any of the tanks on the enemy team, with the possible exception of whatever that is over there. Let me change the, let's take a look. The Valentine. Actually, no, it's touch and go stuff for the Valentine. I probably wouldn't be able to do that, depending on where you hit it, I guess. But the Matilda, I definitely couldn't, because let's take a look. That's got 70 all around, apart from the rear hull, where it's 55. And even then, it's difficult. Now, at this point, it's just the Matilda and I in the cap. The A20 decides to leave. I'm not too sure why. We could have easily won a lot sooner if 3 of us had been in the cap. But, is he coming back? Let's see. No, he's just driving around a bit. We do have a significant enough lead that unless they get 3 in the cap, we can still win this easily. So it's just a case of waiting. And now that we've got 5 seconds to go, 3, yep, that's it. We have won the game. Alright, so that was my first ever game in the T-15. And needless to say, I've kind of imagined I would enjoy this tank after playing that one. Alright, so in that game I got Fire for Effect, Duelist, Arsonist for setting that Covenanter on fire, and a Mastery Badge First Class, which, like I said, for the first game I don't think is that bad at all. I fired 27 shots and did 575 damage, which in a tier 3 I think is pretty good. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the next replay. Alright, so this is another game I played. I think this was probably the third game I played in the T-15. And in this one, I decided to do a little bit of an experiment. Usually in my light tanks on Ensk, I try and look at this area of the map here. Try and spot some stuff, do some damage. But in this game, like I said, I'm doing something different. I looked at the team list at the start and I thought, you know what, maybe I do need to be a bit more aggressive and try and get some damage done, really push the tempo. So that's exactly what I decided to do. I decided I'm going to go into the town and I'm going to try and outflank some stuff. And you would think that it's not going to be that effective in a light tank. But trust me, you would be very, very surprised. This is T-28. I put one into him as he puts one into the Electro. And I'm trying to get one into him, but he's moved now, so I think if he's moved, I'm just going to go around the other side then. And he's taken a hit from what I can only presume is the 38 around the corner. And he's stuck between me and this Electro, so great teamwork going on here. He does kill the Electro, and he's going to get a shot into me, but it's alright, because I'm going to kill him after. There we go. So that's one tier 4 medium tank down. T-28 obviously only has 20mm of armor all around, so a gun like this can go through it easy. Now you'll see in this game I do have all my consumables and my premium, only 8 rounds, but hey, it's better than nothing. So I'll be using that should I get into a tier 5 game, which I don't think has actually happened to me yet in this tank, which is a bit peculiar. So this 38 is moving up. I'm guessing he's either got a damaged engine or he's just on like the first cruise control setting or something. Comes up broadside to that corner. And I decide, you know what, this is getting boring, so I'm going to back up this Matilda and see what he's up to. Fly around the corner. As you can see, it's got a great specific power, as I mentioned, so it really can pick up speed quite nicely. Panzer 1C absolutely wrecks that T-28. I come back over here, find this T-46 who's just killed the something or other, Panzer 35. So I get the kill shot on him after a Marder and someone else puts some shots into him. And there's this T-70 who, for some reason, is firing high explosive. I thought I was going to die there. Well, not die, but take a lot of damage there. But for some reason he just, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe he just saw high explosive and thought, oh, it'll do more damage because he's clearly a new player. Which is unfortunate. But, yeah. Sure he'll learn eventually. There's this M8A1, I'm going to try and ram him to death, but the Panzer 1C steals it from me. Now, DW2 to Brookwagen. He's got 50mm of armor all round, so I decide my premium's going in here. I'm going to put 2 rounds into him. And the premium ammo, because this is such a low tier and it's not a very high caliber at all, it's quite cheap, so you can afford to use it quite a bit. And we are being capped, because that flank that I was talking about earlier that I usually go to in light tanks, they have managed to storm through. So I decide I'm just going to use my speed and drive straight in and try and reset this cap. I think if I remember correctly, I think I loaded Prem for that Valentine. I did, there we go. So some more gold rounds are going in for that Valentine. Lock on to the center of mass. I'm going to try and get close enough so that I can't miss. Boom. Then it's the BT7. I'm going to reset the BT7 and this is where I die. But by doing that, I have managed to take out one of the guys capping and I think my team should be able to have this. So let's take a look. Yep, they managed to take out the BT7. This B1's coming around for the looks. Randy's reset him. So that our guys that are capping are going to be able to do it. And we've killed all of them. So that was another great game in the T-15. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this tank. Like I said, I would say it's definitely worth the 900 gold, even though I got it on sale. If you are thinking about going up that German light tank line to get that RU, which so many people who are trying to play competitively do need. I mean, the T-54 lightweight has taken the centre stage, I would definitely agree, but the RU's gun depression is really useful in a competitive scene. But you know, as I said, if you do need something to train your crews in, and also just have a bit of fun, you know, as a side effect, this is a really great tank for it. Let's take a look at those post-battle results. So that game was only a second class, but we did manage to pick up Fire for effect, Duelist again, and Fighter for killing 4 enemies, because we did get quite a few kill secures there. The detailed report, we only did 392 damage that game, but you know, I think our team effort, we were really pushing the tempo, driving around really quickly, scaring a load of people, and resetting the cap the way we did probably did help out. You know, we killed one thing at the end and managed to reset 2 tanks before we died. It's a shame we couldn't get the looks into the bargain, but in the end it wasn't entirely necessary. So, like I said, in conclusion, T-15, I really do like this tank. If you're looking for something to mess around at the low tiers, as I've said probably about 3 times now in this review, I would definitely recommend it. It's a great tank for the job, great little scout tank if you're wondering, you know, you want to learn how to scout without having, you know, the consequences of getting it wrong in a chaffee and getting, you know, things like ISs and IS3s and T-29s absolutely destroying you if you make a mistake. This is a great way to learn with little penalty and just have fun at the low tiers while you're doing it. So, hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Hope this review was informative enough. This is obviously my first time doing a proper review like this, but you know, I hope it was enough to get the information out there. Like I said, hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.